Hi guys, Aaron Trevis from Surflakes. Thanks for turning out today. What an exciting surf park summit. They seem to get bigger and better each year. So yeah, glad you could all be here. We've got a short time, so I'll get straight into it. I'll be talking about the long game. And our vision obviously is to create a healthier world through surfing communities and technology. And Tony Finn did well yesterday talking about the beginners and the community. Exactly right. We're a big believer in what we're doing, as all of you are. That's why you're here. You put on a lot of work to bring this to the world. This is just to highlight the way that our park gives 5 levels of ability, or 5 levels of surfing all at the same time, from beginners right through to pros. And it's not always obvious. It is to us, but we have so many people talk about different sessions because they're used to sessions, but ours is happening all at the same time. And many see the big pro wave and think, oh my gosh, I can never surf that. It's like, well, you're not allowed to. You have to actually qualify to get to that wave on the way through. Dingo can. So it gives you a bit of an oversight. So I have a pet theory with the surf park space that it's a very big game. I believe there's going to be 1,000 surf parks in 30 years. And if you look at ski resorts globally, there's more than 6,000. In America, you got 500 plus. There's something like 16,000 golf courses in the States alone. And some people think I'm smoking. What do you want? How are you going to get 1,000 surf parks? It does take time, there's no doubt. But if you look at the fact that there's 25 million surfers today, some say there's more. If only 1/3 of those was to visit only once per month, if it was accessible and affordable, then that's 100 million sessions per annum. And if each surf park averaged 75 surfers per session, then you're going to need at least 338 of them. Now, at the moment, surf parks don't average 75 surfers per session, and surfing is growing. So if it only grows by 10% per annum, over 30 years, you'll have something like 100 million surfers and 400 million sessions. You need 1,300. So that's one way of looking at it. Then you add in private clubs and private developments, etc. So all I'm saying is there's plenty of opportunity for everyone. We'll all get our share if we play nice. But what really matters, unit economics is going to play out in the long term. The number one thing, as Jess keeps telling us, is wave quality. That is the number one reason why people pay to go for a surf park. You need to also have wave production to get profitability. You need to be able to turn enough people through, and prices will come down, as I'll talk about. Ideally, you have simultaneous variety where you can have different people accessing it at the same time, so you can bring the whole family, not just certain groups. Then ultimately, wave size will matter because people get, used to waves at a certain size. They want more. There's progression, there's competitions, and so wave size will become even more and more important. And we see that with Kelly Slater. Each one he builds, he's trying to get a bigger wave because people want more. And then there's a whole range of efficiencies there, which we can talk about as well. So just one measure is surfers per $1 million of CapEx spent. Our compact and XL versions, based on, very fair CapEx comparisons can lead that. If you look at also the number of surfers per acre, right? What's the efficient use of space? Based on the productivity that can come out, we can lead that one as well. And this is because of the fact that we've got 4 surf parks in one, essentially, right? We've got 4 different zones that are producing surfers, and we've been fairly light touch on the beginners, only putting them in 2 ends, and as I'll show you can have them right across the park. So very busy slide, but essentially you've got, 6 feet faces. Where are we? Anyway, you can see it there on the bottom. That's typically where the parks are operating. They can go up to a bit more. We can push up to bigger waves, as you've seen, and have the productivity and have the wave quality all at the same time. So there's a different opportunity coming. This is a work in progress. I'm going to do a Pacto recorded video and release this at some point, but we're just working on this particular animation to show this because, again, it's the number one question we got. How the hell do you get 200 surfers in your wave park? You're a liar, Aaron. It's like, no, we're telling the truth. This is how it works. So this just gives you an idea, and the animation's not finished yet, but, the Surf Park Summit come around. So we need to actually add a 3rd group of learners at either end, and you can fit learners on either side as well. So you can see we create these concentric swells that refract into 4 main peaks. So you've got 8 main breaks and a whole bunch of whitewater for beginners. And as Tony Finn said yesterday, it's beginners, 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 right? 99.5% of the world have never surfed. We need to make it easy for them, and we certainly can. So we've just colour-coded this. You can see on the left-hand side is intermediate, then you've got advanced, expert and pro, and then the green areas are the beginners and the whitewater. But as I said, we can actually put the same number. You can add another 96 beginners into the lake by doing that either side with no modification. It doesn't need anything. We just didn't want to be silly. But that takes the numbers up to 312 surfers in the lake at any one time. So anyway, that just gives you an idea. Come and talk to us about that. As you can see in the set, so in this case, it's a 3 metre setting of the machine, runs a set of 5 waves. You've got groups of 5 surfers. They rotate into position. After 90 seconds, it runs again. Now, there was a mention about Seiche effect, and I'll touch on that, but we have no walls, so we don't have that Seiche effect, that rebound, that interference. Within 20 seconds, the lake is vertically very still, but you do get, movement, sideways movement, which we can actually break up in the channels with energy dissipation. We're working on active energy dissipation if we can, but passive will do for now. So it really does still very quickly. Within a minute, you can be running a whole nother set of waves. So you will find out through the commercial tuning, whether we need to modify much in those channels to break up those vortices, but we know what we're doing there. It's just getting to that commercial stage. So anyway, that gives you an idea. And it's very rhythmical. And I guess the key point here, there's no paddle battles. You're sticking with your crew the whole time. So whether it's 3 sets, 3 wave sets, 4 or 5, you've got a crew that you're traveling with. You're laughing at each other's wipeouts. You're cheering each other on. You can either be in the channel, right, or you can be on the edge. So in winter, you can be sitting in a hot tub waiting for the set, and then you go in and get your next turn. So it really is an incredible experience, as all wave parks are. We just want to make sure that there's no paddle battle of people trying to cut each other off. It's a very rhythmical thing because you'll get enough waves. It's okay. That's because we've got 4 surf parks in one. And we've had these conversations where people say, look, forget surflakes. Let's build 2 of the other technologies back to back. You're going to need a lot more of the others to do what we do, right? Now, everyone has their place, don't get me wrong. We're a big footprint. We can do 10-acre lakes or 6-acre lakes, but it costs a heck of a lot more to deliver what we're doing because it's a very efficient model.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
This is the new look machine. So we say goodbye to Mad Max. Sad, but he's not friendly on the neighbours, Mad Max, so this one's much better. And this is just one option, of course. Budget and imagination, you can create whatever you want around it, over it. But the point we're making here is this. We believe that displacement technologies are the most efficient, and the way that we make them, that we're creating swells and setting them free. It's got the full orbital particle motion, such as the ocean. So the wave quality is superb. The number one risk to wave quality is Seiche effect, rebound, and that means walls. If you've got walls, you are guaranteed Seiche effect. It's almost impossible to avoid it. You can minimise it in certain ways, but we'd rather not have walls, so we don't. Now, the other thing is wind. As you know, surfers, it's all about the wind direction. We can have offshore winds guaranteed. It's either glassy or offshore at half the park. That will become a big deal. And it'll become a big deal when we actually get one open. And this is the thing. We're talking about a long game, but I can promise you we are very, very close, and it's all about adding funding. The number one safety risk is also walls and shallow breaks. And we've all heard the stories, people sending waves into shallow concrete and the concussions and broken things. So I urge the industry, and I see already there's some changes happening. I'd urge you to pad the walls, pad the bottoms, because the lawyers are coming. Right? We know that. I've been contacted by some. There's no freaking way I'm going to be testifying against anyone because, why would we hurt our own industry? But it's a really big deal. We need to make sure that it's safe for surfers. So where we have shallow reefs, they will be padded and it'll be controlled, and people have to either wear helmets and qualify to get in there. And I just urge everyone to do the same for everyone's sake because it's such a great experience and we don't want to have injuries. Our format gives maximum development potential. It was great to see Sean talking about opening up that with the Wave Garden format. I think it's brilliant to do that. It's really needed to get that development potential. This is a bit of a timeline that I've put together, based on public information. Forgive me if it's not perfectly accurate. But you can see, well, why is it taking so long? Trevis, you've been talking about this for a long time. It takes a while to get these projects approved. It takes a while for people to get land. Wave Garden started 10 years before us. They built the first 2 models, and they've morphed into the Cove model. And so now you're seeing the fruit of that. People who've been getting applications, you guys talked about it yesterday, how long it takes to get these projects off the ground. So we're at that point now where we got an approved project in Australia. We've got 3 in America that are very close, and then it's funding, we get started. So there's a 10-year lag between surflakes and a lot of the other technology, or the other people behind those technologies who've been at this for some time. So we're kind of the 4th gen technology coming in. But just so you understand, it is a long game. You can't just turn up here and flick a switch and start a surf park. It takes a little bit more. Well, we've done our full-scale proof of concept. That was the scars. That was the learning journey. So we tried to take all that pain so that it's not needed at the commercial end. But we have a very bright future. We have a very bright team. And, somebody mentioned Topgolf yesterday. Troy Warfield, our chairman, is an Aussie. He's been living in London for 20 years. He was the former international president for Topgolf. So he's been in this commercial, socialising space for some time, or competitive socialising. And then, he just loves the fact that he gets to take what was an Aussie brand out to the world. And so very pleased with the team. Kit Sidwell, our co-inventor. We've got John here. We got Thomas. Where's Thomas? Yeah, oh, right here. Here we go. Sorry. From Latin America. So anyway, very, very proud of the team because it just does not happen in solo. We've got great partners and suppliers who are behind us. We've got projects brewing, we've got patents, and there's many more in discussion. And what's fascinating to me is see the uptake from developers from 20-acre sites to now 2 discussions on 18,000-acre estates where they want to build new cities. And so they want to scale it up and have these at the centrepiece of it because it's the first time in history we can take the beach and transplant it anywhere you want with perfect waves, the push of a button day and night. So no wonder it's taking off, right? This is gold. It's amazing. So, but I will highlight, we're not there yet. And you go back to the early 1900s and there was 2,000 apparently automakers in America. Now there's 3 plus a few of those groovy EV car makers, right? So there is a consolidation. We'll see this proliferation. I don't know that everyone's going to continue the journey, but we're all fighting very hard to make a difference and bring these waves to the world. And so I think, again, to the point, what matters in the long run? Well, waves will become a commodity. So one of ours is more than 10 Wacos, for example, in terms of inventory, okay? Or 10 of ours is like 100 of those. So you can see that means pricing. Right? The pricing will settle somewhere because it'll be more and more available. Wave quality is fundamental. Larger wave size is needed. Thankfully, we can easily upgrade our current tech as well as build bigger ones. Those conversations are happening. I'm the one that put it out there and now I'm trying to hose them down. No, let's just build this one first before we build the double size. But it'll come and it's very exciting. New entrants, new surfers. This becomes critical, to bring people into our beautiful world of surfing and actually teach them and progress. And it's coming anyway. Simultaneous variety and then creating new beachfront property, as I mentioned. It's super cool. So in the States, it's about approvals. We've got, again, one that should be announcing next month. We've got 2 others that we're about to sign LOIs that are already approved. So they will come. We will get across the line. And then in Australia, we've got the beautiful Capricorn Coast. So it's a 40 million upgrade. We're talking to a group about 20 million debt. So it'll be about 50-50 debt and equity. And so as soon as we can, we want to lock that in and build this tropical surf resort. And you're all invited to come down. It won't be free, but, it'll be much less than the surf ranch, but a great experience. So, look, thank you. Any questions? Yes, Brian.
Hey, Aaron, just curious, with the 4, kind of the X marks, the 4 sessions,
Yes.
the 4 big areas of the wave, is there any opportunity in those buffer zones to create additional programmatic elements and interactive elements so that you can increase, the opportunities?
Yes. You mean in the channels, you mean? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, I have a whole study on that I was going to show, but there's only a short presentation. So, yes, you can fit, 20 people on kayaks and stand-ups and have the surfers just outside of that. So there's a lot of extra that can go in. We just wanted to show the 216 surfers. But yes, if you then add the learners and add people in the channels, it's a whole nother business model. Yeah, so you're rightly pointing that out. There's still water, leisure water, recreational water. And there's a great video coming out that Ombi has put out where Kit, our co-inventor, is just talking about the fun of sitting in the channel and you're watching this break here and this guy getting barreled here and just sitting in the channel is an exciting day out. So, yeah, very fun. You can program that in a lot of ways. You can actually build out into those channels. You can have a cafe sitting out there on stilts, just like we have the piers here. So we can do all that too, which will come. It really will. The other one is the perimeter. we've drawn these standard, fairly standard shapes. We already have designs where there's lagoons coming off those to maximise the waterfront property, and it's a staggering exercise when you start to run the numbers of that, of what that could be. You could pay for the lake before you even open, and so we want to get into that. We are doing some ownership of parks and licensing, so it's going to be a hybrid model. We're pursuing capital now, so we need to get, capitalised and get these projects funded so we can crack on with the commercial rollout. Yes, sir.
What's the ideal footprint, land size for these?
So we talk of 20 acres if you're going to do an XL size, so it'll be a 13-acre lagoon, and then the rest is for all the other amenity. Or you can do the smaller lagoon, which has the same numbers, but, cuts a lot of the cost and space down as well. So it'll be, a 6-acre lagoon, so you can draw that back. So we're talking to groups from 17-acre properties, like I said, up to hundreds and thousands in some cases. Yes, sir.
What would you say is like the main strategy from a real estate perspective? Is it that fits surflakes the best? Is it mixed use more, or residential, or what would you suggest?
The main strategy from a property perspective, look, it can be both. The early discussions around that mixed use model, because you've got accommodation, you've got retail, food and beverage, it's as dense as you can make it. And then if you've got enough space, then you can scale that out to residential as well. So, again, it's not ridiculous to state you can build a whole township around these things, right? Not just ours, the others as well. But in our case, it just provides a lot more flexibility in the design with the shorefront and connecting canals and connecting experiences around it. But we've got to get that first one proven so people are comfortable. So we've got a lot of people lining up. We've got big REITs lining up to go second, third and fourth. We'll build 10 after you get the first one done. So for us, it's this gateway of getting the first one done, and then all that'll get proven out. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.